Hi guys, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be going through all of my bronzer, blush, and highlighter. I actually filmed the intro to this already, but I accidentally deleted the part of my bronzers, which is really weird. I don't know how it happened, but for whatever reason it didn't export over to my computer, and then I deleted the file, and then it was gone for forever. But basically, I'm just going to be going through, once again, all of my bronzers, highlighters, and blushes because I recently picked up a ton of stuff in each and every category, and there's a couple of things that I definitely think I can get rid of. It's not going to be a crazy declutter just because I did everything very recently. Within the last, I think, maybe like 3 months, I probably just did a declutter, but I wanted to weed out a couple of other little products just to make space in my drawer for everything. So I will just go through everything that I have. I did swatches earlier. Maybe I'll go through and do a couple of swatches again, but it's not going to be super in-depth just because I literally already filmed this part and I already know what I'm going to be decluttering, so there won't be much contemplation. But basically, we'll just go through everything. So what I have over here is this here from NARS. I'm going to go through everything first that I'm keeping. This is the Valhalla bronzer. I got this in a mystery box recently. It is my most recent mystery box video. It's such a gorgeous color and I really love it. Another one I purchased recently was this from Dior. This is the Dior Forever bronzer in the shade 05 Warm Bronze. This is a really nice sort of neutral bronze color, and I really like this one. So I kept that one. Then I have a cream bronzer here. This one is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is in the shade Amber. This one is really nice. It's a more warm-toned type of cream bronzer, but I still do really like it, and I don't like it as much as my e.l.f. Putty bronzer, but I've definitely enjoyed it a ton, and I'm using that a little bit more before I open up this other e.l.f. one, which is in the shade Honey Drip. This one I actually used up an entire one of these before, so this is like my favorite cream bronzer ever, but that one is really good. And then my last sort of like cream slash liquid I have is this here from Charlotte Tilbury. This one is in the shade, I think it's light medium or fair medium. Not my favorite formula. I feel like it does pick up my makeup underneath a little bit, but I will have to kind of try it out with a couple of other things. But yeah, that is this one here from Charlotte Tilbury that I'm keeping. Then I also have this duo here from NARS. This is the Laguna Orgasm duo. I really like Laguna. I like the Valhalla formula better actually than the Laguna that's in here, but it's still a very good bronzer, and I do want to keep this duo since this my boyfriend actually got for me for my birthday a couple years ago. So it has sort of some sentimental value to me, but yeah, I do really like that one, so I'm keeping it. Then a newer one that I have is this one here from Mented. This is in the shade Beach Bum. This one is more of a warm-toned bronzer, a little bit warmer than what I typically go for, but it's still really nicely pigmented and super easy to blend out, so I do really enjoy that one. Then I have this here from Too Faced. This is my Sun Puppy bronzer. This one is a forever favorite. I have quite a bit of progress made in this one, and I really like the tone of it. Then I have my only mini product here. This is from Physicians Formula. This is the Butter Bronzer in just the original bronzer shade. I really love the formula of this, and I found this at like a Marshall's, I think, in the mini mini packaging. So it was perfect because I really like this one, and it's definitely good to have for travel. Then another favorite of mine is this one here from Benefit. This is the Hula bronzer, and it's just in the original Hula shade. I love this one so much. It's such a really nice sort of cool toned neutral bronzer type of color, and it's really awesome. Definitely love that one. Then another newer one that I have, I picked this up on Black Friday of this year, is the Huda Beauty Glowish bronzer in the shade 03 Tan Light. This one I think is very similar in shade actually to the Dior one. It's a little bit more glowy than the Dior one, but the undertone and color of it I think is very similar. So love that one. It's also not super warm toned. Then I have this one here from Nabla. This is the Skin Bronzing in the shade Ambra or Ambra. This one I was on the fence of. I think I am going to keep it for now. I was kind of at a maybe earlier. It is a little bit more lightweight than normal, but I do think it's really nice and buildable, and it could be good to wear over a more sort of not full coverage base. Then these are the 3 bronzers that I'm actually decluttering. I have this one here from Kiko. This is the Ocean Feel bronzer in the shade 01 Warm Honey. And this one, it's just not a super good shade. It's a little bit too light, and it's kind of yellowy, and it just doesn't show up on me as well as it used to. And I don't know, it's just getting old, and I feel like I don't use it as much. It has really kind of big, bulky packaging, and it takes up a ton of space. So it's just not one that I really reach for anymore. So I am decluttering this one. Then another one I'm getting rid of is this from Hourglass. This is in the shade Luminous Bronze Light, and this one is okay. It's just not a perfect color for me, and it's almost a little bit too glowy, like almost a little bit too shimmery, and it's very warm toned. I prefer more now some more like satin type of finishes. Like, although Hoola is technically matte, I feel like I just prefer that one. I even like, you know, Huda Beauty Glowish and a couple other ones a little bit more than the Hourglass one. So I just don't really get much use out of this one, and I did purchase it on Poshmark for a very affordable price, so I don't feel too bad getting rid of it, even though it's technically like has a really expensive like retail price. It's just not for me, so it's taking up space, and I don't love it as much as I thought I would, so I am decluttering this one. And then the last one I'm decluttering is this here from Too Faced. This is the Pineapple Sun bronzer. This was discontinued a little while back. It's really pretty. I like the actual shade of the bronzer that's in here, but it's really pretty much impossible to get just the bronzer because the highlighter side is so close to it. There's nothing kind of disconnecting it, and it's just a little bit too glowy. Even if you mix them together, it's pretty much just a highlighter. And I do like the packaging, and I think it's really cute, and I hate to get rid of it, but I just don't really use this at all, and I've just been holding on to it just because I thought it was cute, but at this point in time it's taking up too much space, and I have some other newer stuff that I want to get or that I want to make room for, so yeah, this is gonna have to go. I'm pretty sure that's all the footage that I was missing from the earlier part of this video, so now you will go back to past tense me, where I will actually be decluttering everything in the moment. That way you'll kind of get to see my thought process a little bit more. So sorry about that, but yeah, let's get on to the rest of the video. Here are all of my blushes. And again, I have quite a few new ones since my last declutter video, which wasn't that long ago, but I've definitely been picking up some newer things finally that I have had my eye on for a long time. I've been purchasing some mystery boxes and a couple other gifts, random purchases that I've made, where I have now accumulated quite a few products here, and a bunch of them I definitely think I can get rid of. Again, there's also some older ones that I feel like I can finally like feel happy to get rid of, and of course we're going to be doing some swatches. So I think what I'm going to do is maybe separate things a little bit by color. That way I can have sort of a better idea of what everything is going to look like and how many duplicates of certain types of colors that I have. So I'm going to go ahead and organize them into what like the shade ranges are, and then I will be back to do swatches of each of them and do a sort of really in-depth breakdown of everything. Alright, so I think pretty much everything I have in frame over here are all of my more nude type of products. Now, I think what my main one I want to base everything off of, my two different levels of nude, are more like orangey, neutral nudes, and then more pinky nudes. So my two bases for those are going to be this one over here from this Pat McGrath palette. I forgot what the shade is. I think it's something Nectar. So this is going to be the basis of my nude, my neutral nude, and then I have this one here from Rare Beauty in the shade Nearly Neutral, which is going to be the basis for my more sort of pinky nude colors. So those are the ones I'm going to be comparing to. They are actually pretty similar, although one is more orange toned and one is like more pink toned. So these are going to be the ones that I prefer the most, and that everything else is going to be comparing against them. So those two are definitely ones I'm going to be keeping. Now I have this one here from Tarte. This is in the shade Risque. This one I purchased, but I just don't reach for it like how I thought I would. It's definitely a very beautiful color. I love how neutral it is. I think right now I want to compare it. Its competition mostly is this one in the shade Lovejoy, which is more of a sparkly type of color, and this is from MAC. Now, I don't know which one I prefer. I think that the Tarte formula is just a little bit more powdery on me, whereas the MAC one is almost a little bit more sort of creamy. So I feel like even though I had just gotten this very recently, like not that long ago, you can see it still looks pretty new. I just do think that this one has to go. It's just not one I reach for, not one that I typically love for blush. I like to have something that has a little bit of luminosity to it. Like pretty much all of these have at least some sort of glow, except for this one, and I think that's why that I'm not reaching for it. So I think I am going to go ahead and just get rid of this Tarte one. So I'm going to keep this one here from MAC, which is in Lovejoy again, and I'll just leave it open. Then I also have MAC Warm Soul. This one is my favorite MAC one that I have, and this one is a little bit of a lighter shade, but it is just so pretty. It's a little bit on the peachier side, but it's still definitely very nude and neutral, and I really, really like this one, so definitely going to keep that one. Then I have this here from Melt. This is the Raw Honey Digital Dust Duo Blush. This one is so pretty. Normally I'll just kind of swirl them together. It's like a very, very shimmery, highlighty type of color. Very brown, very bronze, but I absolutely love it. So definitely going to keep that one. And then I have this one here from Tower 28. This one is in the shade Magic Hour, and this is sort of like a nude pinky type of color. As you know, if you were watching any of my Shop My Stash videos, my packaging actually broke on this one, so I was just using it up before it went bad. But I think at this point, I'm pretty sure it had started to break out my cheeks, because anywhere that I placed this blush on my cheekbones, I noticed I was getting breakouts, so I think it has finally gone bad. I do have a shade very similar to it from Bobbi Brown. That one is just a little bit more terracotta, so I didn't put it in this section. So I definitely think it is time to get rid of my Tower 28. I'm very sad. I really like the formula. And you can see I put a pretty decent dent in it, but mine did break and it just has gotten a little bit dried out and definitely started to break me out. So unfortunately, I do have to declutter this one. So I think that is it for all of my nude blushes. Got rid of 2, and considering how new pretty much all of these are, except for my MAC ones, are the only like old ones, feeling pretty good about that. So let's move on to the next category, which I think is going to be my like more pink type of shades. So let's go ahead and go on to that. So I guess this category is probably better off as like my peachy and pinks category, just because I don't really know what to put some of these other ones in, because some of them are more peachy, some are bright pink, and then I have like a regular, like more cool toned pink. I don't really know. But regardless, we'll go ahead and swatch everything. Now, I definitely know I want to keep my Milani Luminoso. This one is a long-time favorite. It is so good. I love this color on me. The formula is just stunning and so beautiful. It's a really nice peachy color with some glow to it, so definitely keeping that one. Its biggest contender, I think, is this one here from MAC. This is in the shade Like Me, Love Me. I used to wear this shade a lot, but I think at this point in time, I prefer shades that are a little bit darker and maybe even a little bit more neutral. So if I'm going for something kind of brighter, I'll go for my Milani Luminoso and not this one. So I think I am going to get rid of this MAC one. So yeah, that one is one I will be decluttering. Then I have this one here from Glossier. This is the Cloud Paint in the shade Beam. I actually had this in my Shop My Stash a little while back, and I did use it like twice or once or twice, and I did not like how it looked. The formula is just way too sheer. I've had this for a very, very long time, and the orange shade just doesn't work for me anymore. It used to be fine, but again, I prefer shades that are a little bit darker, so it's just not up my alley anymore, and I'm going to declutter this. Then I have this one here from Chantecaille, which I purchased not too long ago. This is in the shade Grace, which is the turtle shade, and it's very pretty. I think I want to keep it. It's this one right here. I'm not entirely sure, but that one is a maybe for now, but I think I want to keep it. Then I have this one here from Seraphine Botanicals. This is in the shade Lychee. I think it's one of their Lychee blushes. This one, I always say it, this is the blush that got me back into blush. I think it's so gorgeous, and I feel like my skin always looks really beautiful whenever I wear it, so I definitely want to hold on to this one. Then I have this one from Pure Minerals or Pure Cosmetics. This is in the shade Flirt. It's one of their cream blushes. I got this in one of my mystery boxes, but it's just, I don't really love the shade. I didn't mind it in the video, but it's just not one that I would really reach for anymore, so I do think even though it was fine and then I liked the formula, I think I am just going to declutter this one. Then I have this one here from the Animal Crossing collection. This is in the shade Flower Tender. This one I don't really like, and I'm really compelled to keep it just because I want to keep my Animal Crossing collection complete, but there's really no reason. I feel like I'm not keeping a sealed collection, it's just a bunch of other products, and I know I want to keep the other blush from this collection, so I do think I am just going to declutter this one. I don't know. I think I'm going to declutter it. For now, I'm going to put it in the declutter pile, but if it shows back up at some point, you'll know that I couldn't do it. But yeah, I think I'm going to get rid of that. Then I have this one here from Too Faced. This is from their Too Femme collection. It's the newest collection that they came out with. It's in the shade Butterfly Babe. This one I got in a mystery box that I ordered from Poshmark. This one's really pretty. Normally I don't really wear bright pinks like this, but it's almost like it looks more pink in the pan for some reason, but I think once you swirl it together with whatever shimmer there is in it, it just reflects a little bit more peachy and a little bit more neutral. Like, it's probably the most neutral out of all of these over here, despite how it looks in the pan. But yeah, I'm definitely going to keep this. I haven't used this on my face yet, and I'm desperately wanting to try it out. So this is what I'm keeping from the pinks, I think. And yeah, I did pretty good getting rid of some of those. So let's go ahead and move on to my more like terracotta type colors, which are my favorite. So it'll be a little bit hard to go through them, but let's go ahead and start working through those. All right, so here are all of my terracottas, deep mauves type of shades. These are my favorite shade for blush, and I feel like I have more, but I guess I don't. But these ones, it's gonna be hard for me to get rid of any, if any at all. My newest one, I wanna say, is this e.l.f. one and this Pat McGrath one. This is in the shade Paradise Venus. It is so pretty. I've been loving this. I had this in my Shop My Stash, and I think it's also in my current one as well. I'm pretty sure. I have to go back and check my video to see what I took out, but it is just so pretty. I really love it. And then this one from e.l.f. is in the shade Bali, and this one's really gorgeous. This one goes on the skin a little bit lighter than how it actually looks in the pan, but it's just such a pretty color. It's a little bit more kind of orangey than the Pat McGrath one, but they actually go together really well, like layering them. So I like those. Then I have this one from Clinique. This is in the shade Fig Pop. This was one of my sort of original shades that I had in this color, and I really like it. The formula is beautiful, and again, the finish of it, I just really, really like. So definitely keeping that. Another favorite of mine is this one from Bobbi Brown. This is in the shade Powder Pink. I wanted this for so long, and then I finally picked it up on Poshmark, and it's just as good as I hoped it would be. It's really, really pretty. I love the color, and again, it goes so well with any of my other powder blushes, so definitely want to keep it. And then this one is from Ciate. This is their Date Night blush, and it's so pretty. Like, this was, again, one of my other original ones. It's my more glowy of this color. Most of them are like matte or satin or cream, but this is my only glowy one of this shade. So I think out of all of these, I definitely want to keep all of them. These are my favorite shades to wear, and they are the ones that I always reach for, so I am going to keep all of these and not declutter any of them. So yeah, sorry about that, but I really like all of them. The last category only has 3 products, and these are my more sort of like colorful miscellaneous type of blushes. This first one I have over here is from Laura Mercier. This is in the shade Grapefruit. I kept this for a long time because I thought that it would be so cute for like a Valentine's Day or holiday look. I never did a holiday look with it, and then when I did a Valentine's Day look with it, I was even filming a video, and it came out so bad, this blush ruined my entire look, that I didn't even post it. So definitely getting rid of this one. It's pretty, it's just not good for my skin tone. It's just a little bit too red. Then I had this one here from Huda Beauty. This is the Berry Juicy blush. This one's really pretty. I actually really like this one. It's very nice for winter time. And if I'm wearing a darker, more pinky type of shade, this is gonna be the one that I go for. So gonna keep that one. And then this last one is from the Animal Crossing collection. This is in the shade Flower Power. This is sort of a nice pastel lilac type of color, and I find that it's really unique and definitely a more fun type of color to have. So I will keep these two, but I'm going to get rid of the Laura Mercier. So now into highlighter. I have quite a few highlighters. I have some that are more golden, more champagne, more pink, but instead of categorizing everything, I think we're just gonna kind of tackle it one by one and start doing some swatches, because I feel like once they're on your face, they all look kind of similar. But I guess right off the bat, I know which one I want to keep is this one here from Natasha Denona. This one is actually in my Shop My Stash this week. This one is so pretty. It's in the shade 02 Light Medium. This one has a really nice sort of like glassy skin where there's no glitter to it. It's not really metallic. It's just sort of like reflective, and it's a very thin formula, and it just looks really, really nice on the cheeks. So I definitely know I want to keep that one. And then another one I know I really want to keep is this one here from MAC. This is in the shade Soft and Gentle. This one you're going to have to pry from me if you ever want me to declutter it. It is just so pretty. Again, it's just that very skin-like, gorgeous. It's even a little bit more reflective. I want to say it has a little bit of a deeper base than the Natasha Denona, but I just think on my skin it looks so, so pretty, and I absolutely love this one. So definitely want to keep it. And then the other two that I definitely want to keep are these from Wet n Wild. So I have Precious Petals and Bloom Time. Both of mine are actually broken because for whatever reason, like I dropped them at individual times. And since the packaging is kind of a little bit cheapy, mine just snapped in half. But this is Precious Petals. This was like my first ever Wet n Wild one. You can see I have a pretty decent dip going in it. It is just one of my favorites. It's a really gorgeous rose gold type of color, and I absolutely love it. It's a little bit deep, I guess, but once you're using it with a brush, it just looks really, really nice, and it's a very reflective, very gorgeous color, very similar to Champagne Pop from Becca. So if you're looking for a little dupe, there you go. But yeah, I definitely want to keep that one. And then the sort of lighter companion to it is Bloom Time, which I think this one, oops, is actually my favorite, just because it's almost a little bit more vibrant. And again, it has like a brighter reflect to it. It has a similar sort of like a little bit of a deeper base, but it's just kind of the lighter version of Precious Petals, and it has a really beautiful shift to it, and it's just really glowy and beautiful and glassy on your skin. So definitely a huge favorite of mine, and I definitely want to keep that one. Then a newer one that is also in my Shop My Stash this week is the Undone Beauty one here. This is the Nonzer in 560. This one is really pretty. It has sort of these 4 different shades, which normally I just mix these 2 together, and this is the shade that I use. It's really metallic and really, really bright. It's like probably one of my brightest ones that I have, aside from this one here from Pixi, which I feel like the formula actually is very similar to this one here. I have this one in, let me see. This is in Delicate Dew. It's one of the Glowy Gossamer duos, and it has these 2 shades in it. And I feel like they're actually very similar to the one from Undone Beauty. You can see they have just sort of that really, really high shine, sort of metallic look to it. And I really like both of them, so I am going to keep those. Then I have this liquid highlighter here from KVD. This is one of their Metal Crush liquid highlighters. Mine is in the shade Rose Shock, and this was one that I got in one of my mystery boxes. It's not my favorite product. I have a video up where I tested out some of the weird products that I picked up in mystery boxes, but it's just not my favorite. It's like a very sort of glittery type of shade, and it's just kind of weird. Like, you can see it's not even sticking to like this one part of my hand. It's just like a very finicky type of product, and it's super, super glittery and like hot pink, so I am going to declutter that. A liquid highlight that I do like is this one here from About Face. This is the shade Fight or Flight. It's one of their light lock highlighter fluids, and this one, you will never use this up in your lifetime. You only need like a super tiny amount. Even that was like probably too much, but it's just a really pretty sort of nude, maybe on like the more pinky type of side of things, but it's really metallic and super gorgeous, and I love using this one, so I'm definitely going to keep this liquid highlight. Then I have this one here from Nabla. This is their Skin Glazing in the shade Amnesia. This one, again, I'm not entirely sure if I want to keep it. I feel like it's just not my favorite formula. It's almost a little bit more sort of like textured compared to some of my other ones. Like, I feel like the gold is just a little bit too dark, and it's just not, I don't know. Like, it's kind of similar to the Pixi one, but the Pixi one is almost a little bit more smooth, and that one I typically mix with the other one instead of having it on its own because it is a little bit deep. And I feel like the Nabla one is just a little bit too deep on me, and it's just not my favorite formula. I have used quite a bit of it, but I think at this point it's not getting a lot of use in my collection, so I am going to declutter it. Then I have these 2 down here from Estate. This one is in the shade Lit, and this one is in the shade Pearl. I think I'm going to keep Lit. This one is a really nice like baked formula. It's a very sort of light and bright type of color, and I do really enjoy it. It's sort of a pale gold type of color, and it's pretty unique to some of my collection, so I am going to keep this one. Then I also have, again, this one is in the shade Pearl. This one is a white with like a pinky kind of reflect to it. I just don't really wear shades like this. Actually, it doesn't even really have a pinky kind of shift to it. It's just sort of white, so I think I'm going to declutter that one. Move a little bit more stuff in here. Now I have these ones here from Becca. This one is in the shade Rose Quartz, which is a pink, and then we have Moonstone, which is like a champagne, and then we have Champagne Pop, which is honestly more of a rose gold than a champagne. So I will do swatches of them, but I think they will all be staying. So we have Champagne Pop right here, and then we have Rose Gold, which is pretty. It's a little bit more soft. I find that the Moonstone and Rose Gold formula is not as blinding as the Champagne Pop one, but yeah, I really like both of them. I love to use Moonstone as actually my inner corner highlight. So I will be keeping all of my Becca highlighters. You also can't get them anymore, so, I mean, you can with Smashbox, but these ones are like some of the original Becca ones, and they're actually all pretty new. This one I got maybe like 2 years ago, and these ones I got just within the last couple months when they were going on sale, when like they were getting rid of it at Ulta. So I am going to keep all of my Becca highlighters. So then we have a couple more highlighters over here. I have this one here from Pat McGrath. This is the one in Lunar Nude. It's so, so pretty. I definitely want to hold on to this one. It's really gorgeous. It has a little bit of a deeper base, but it definitely can be sheared out to be a really nice color and has such a bright reflect. Really love that one. Then this one I have here from ColourPop. This is one of their Disney Villains ones. This is in the shade Hades. It's sort of a like orangey with like a pink shift to it. Mine is finally starting to sort of be a bit dried up. It's just not as bright as I would hope it is. It's kind of almost more of like a satin now, just since it's a little bit more dried. So I do think, unfortunately, I have to declutter it. It's a very unique color and really cool, but as you can see, it's just more of a satin shade rather than a highlighter. So I am going to declutter this one. Then I have this one from Bobbi Brown. This is in the shade Pink Glow. This one I kind of regret getting. I purchased this on my birthday this last year, and it's just not as like great as I thought it would be. I think for now I'm going to keep it just because it's still brand new, but if I don't really use it much by the next declutter video that I do, I think this one may have to go, but for now it is going to stay. I also have this one here from Stila. This is the shade Kitten. It's one of their Heaven's Hue highlighters. It's kind of like that sort of putty highlighter. This is really pretty. It is undetectable on the skin. The shade is just amazing. It blends out to such a beautiful color. Absolutely love it. It looks so seamless on your skin. It's really, really nice. So definitely want to keep the Stila. Then I have this palette here from Ofra. This is the Nikki Tutorials highlighting trio. It has Space Baby, Glazed Donut, and then Glow Goals. So it has some unique colors in it. I guess I feel fine getting rid of the other like white shade because I have Space Baby, which is white with like a blue reflect to it, which is really interesting. Then this one is the one I use most often, which is Glazed Donut, and then Glow Goals I'll mix with Glazed Donut just because it's a little bit too deep for me, but when you mix them together, it actually creates a really good shade, kind of similar to Rodeo Drive, which I decluttered a little while back. But both of them are really nice, so I am definitely going to keep this palette. Then we're down to these three, and two of them are my other favorite ones, so we will go into that. This one is MAC Double Gleam. This is one of their Extra Dimension skin finishes. This is a beautiful white gold color. It's very, very bright, but I absolutely love it. It's so pretty, and I really enjoy that one. And then we have this from REM Beauty. This is in the shade Miss Mercury. It's a really, really gorgeous color. Again, it's one of those that is just so like undetectable on the skin and gives you a really beautiful like glassy look to it. I really love that color. Again, it's sort of like a white gold, kind of similar to Double Gleam, but it's a little bit deeper, more champagne, I guess, but I really love that one. And then we have this here from Hip Dot. I got this in an Ipsy bag. This is in the shade Golden Hour. I'm definitely going to declutter this one. It's like bright orange, very weird. Kind of, I don't know if it's a blush or a highlighter. I think it's a highlighter, but yeah, the color is just off, so definitely gonna get rid of that one. I forgot to count again how many highlighters I'm getting rid of, but how many highlighters I'm keeping, but I am getting rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 highlighters. So I thought I would do a little bit better if I'm being honest, but I think we did pretty well in each category. So overall, like as a whole, like bronzer, blush, and highlighter, I think I did okay. Let me go ahead and bring everything on screen that I'm getting rid of. That way you can see exactly how many products I'm getting rid of and how much free space I'm creating. Alright, so aside from these couple things here on the side, this is everything we're getting rid of. Pretty good. Nothing crazy, but this was all just stuff taking up space in my drawer that I thought I wanted to keep, or I was keeping just because it was new or it was still good. But yeah, it is finally time just to clear this stuff out from my collection. So feeling really good about it. Hopefully I freed up some space in my drawers. That way I can actually like put everything in all my organizers and have even space for some newer stuff that I've been wanting to try out. But that is it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.